Hello, hello, and welcome to Death Cafe with me, your Latinx death doula and bruja pastel supernova. This is where we hold space for heart-led conversations about death, dying, and loss. I'll be sharing personal stories and also hearing from insightful minds about everything to do with the inevitable. Today, you're going to meet Andrea. Andrea is an artist, a designer, a tarot reader, and someone who is about to enter the death doula world as a practitioner. Hello,
Hi,
welcome.
thank you. Thank you for having me.
As I waft incense smoke towards the screen for a opulent cleanse,
Let me just take all that in.
could you please introduce yourself?
So, I'm Andrea. I'm studying to be a death doula right now. So, I'm a death doula candidate. Um, I'm in the maker spaces as a tarot reader, but I also design my own tarot decks.
I love that. I immediately have so many questions, but this is Death Cafe. So let's begin with uh, how long have you been a death doula candidate? And like what got you there?
So what got me there was quite literally about a year ago. A friend of mine had done a chart reading for me, and she had asked me, have you considered becoming a death doula just based on the things that I'm seeing in your chart because you're doing tarot reading, you're doing like artwork, but a lot of it has to do with like mental and emotional health. But it seems like there was a lot of death kind of like surrounding your life. So have you thought about doing it? And so, a year later, okay, a year later, I'm a death doula candidate. I started classes. It's a 12-month program, but I started this past Jan. We're still in January, just a few weeks ago in January. So I'm hoping to get my certification soon.
Where are you studying?
It's HHA, Home Hospice Association.
And is that online or in Toronto?
It's in Toronto, but everything is online just for accessibility purposes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
convenient.
yeah.
Uh, cool. How do you feel about the program? Like, tell me about your school experience.
Oh
What
God,
did
I
you
feel like I
cover?
found, yeah, I feel like I found my people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me. Just kind of like also hearing your experience as like a death doula as well, because I feel like a lot of the people in the death doula space, they're witches, or they have like
Healers.
um untapped like psychic ability
Hmm.
that kind of like allows them to move through these spaces. So I thought that was very interesting. So far, I'm gravitating towards like the different domains of care. So we were learning about grief and bereavement, legacy work, holding vigil, and just getting end of life patients to just, I guess, like help them navigate through those spaces. Like the way I'm kind of processing or seeing like the work of a death doula is quite literally a party planner with just like a little sprinkle of like death social work.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's its most like simplified form.
Hmm. And so are you into the party planner? And by that, folks, obviously we get it, the topic. But
Yeah.
also, uh, you set up events. You set up a lot of events for different people on different scale, not just like the end of life ceremony or helping with the funeral, but everything in between, because this is a huge life moment and many people are often involved in one person's transition. Uh, Everything is monumental. So, is that the part you're into?
That is the part that I'm into. I'm also into like the heavy legacy work. What are they leaving behind? What's like the message or like overall thing that they want others to learn? I think
Yeah.
that's like a major one for me
Hmm.
because some I feel like some people when they leave this world, it's like it's not something that they ever really think about. It's like, oh, what was your impact when you were alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life review is intense.
I think I've been doing it for a very long time, like
Yeah.
since high school. So, but I wasn't even aware that I was doing it. It was just
Oh,
something that made sense to me. I don't
okay.
know if there needs to be a trigger warning on this podcast. I used to be very suicidal as a teenager. So
Okay.
this was something that I've always like thought about. It's like, okay, what would be my impact if I were to kind of like die tomorrow?
Right.
Yeah. And so that kind of like informed how like I moved about the world.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of like where I am like right now, right? So everything that I'm thinking about, it's like, what is my impact? Like if I die tomorrow, like what would be my like major regret, right? Like, do I want to like
Right.
leave this world without like, like not pursuing a thing that I wanted to pursue, saying things that I like maybe didn't want to say or maybe have should have said, right?
Do you have plans for after this? Like what you want to, like what community you want to jump into?
I'm a part of several communities right now. I think I want to like introduce these services as a death doula on top of my work as a tarot reader to kind of, you know, I guess get people to start talking about their life or
Yeah.
even like their death and like what they want or like how they want to show up.
hmm
So that'll just be like integrating that part of myself into these spaces again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adding branch.
Exactly. So I'm already in a lot of like queer spaces. I'm in anti-Asian displacement spaces. The art community is a big one. I think like we talk about death a lot in these spaces. So that was like that seems natural.
hmm I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
I've been doing this for about a year and I think you'll love it.
I'm so excited.
It feels like the most validation I've ever felt because someone is allowing me into such a unique time where so many, like everyone involved could not be more vulnerable.
Yeah.
So it's a delicate place. And to be allowed into those spaces with different people is like such an infusion of love that it's unlike anything else.
What has your year as a death doula been like?
Well, it's been beautiful. It's been very spiritual. And I had to learn how to protect my psyche and my spirit because I am open to entities. I do do esoteric work. I'm a ritual practitioner. I come from a line of psychics, and so being in spaces where death often occurs is a place where energies can stick to me and have and
Mm.
did. And I had to learn what self-care looked beyond the mundane world. For everyone listening, death doula work, a huge section is put into recognizing and helping others recognize um, burnout, caregiver burnout, and all of the ways that that hits. But I have yet to see anybody really address the fact that spirits can stick to you, drain you, take your energy, and not in a like boo, scary ghost way, but in a way that some don't want to leave yet. Some want to feel this existence again or want to speak to somebody else. And it's something I don't talk about ever. But since you do read tarot and you are in a spiritual practice, I highly recommend that you level up your um, cleanses, that the amount of time that you cleanse your space, cleanse yourself, and seal up a little more than you can imagine
Mm.
because your crown is open.
We're
You're
vulnerable.
we're yes, always, always. um, put water on yourself after. Do like a
Okay.
water cleanse.
Mm.
Smoke cleanse, whatever cleanse you want, but it was recommended to me in death doula training to use water, shower like your Ori, your head, this crown chakra,
Mm.
cleanse and seal.
It's very similar to Buddhist practices, like death practices.
Yeah.
Like, so it's very interesting that you say, like, cleanse with the smoke and the water, because, like,
Oh.
after we entered the spaces, like, even if you're going there, like, at a funeral,
Hmm.
you're told to, take like this large bucket of water. I think there's a plant that you're supposed to like boil like in the water. And then
Hmm.
afterwards, you put that water all over you in the
Yeah.
shower, your crown, your head, um, the light incense.
Seals of
Yeah.
protection. Yeah, yeah, no, because the stickiness is real. And
Mhm.
I I got to the point where uh things were really um live in my dwellings. There was
Mm,
a lot more talking to me than what I was used to. And uh you know, it, I didn't attract anything horrific,
mhm,
but you stop sleeping. Like it's
mhm,
just like so I got really tired for a while, and then you get sick or you get hurt or you get injured, but I was like losing sensation in my arm, like all kinds of things were happening.
mm.
So do the cleanses. I would encourage you if to wear something red,
Okay. Well,
like
that won't be a problem. When your New
lucky.
Year's coming, red, red all the
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
Have you navigated with like death work and your tarot? Tell me about who you communicate with.
I'm not sure if I communicate with anything or any spirit in particular. I follow Persephone and Lilith and Hecate. Guan Yin
Hmm.
is a major one.
Can you describe them a little bit just for people? I don't know if
Yeah,
they're familiar.
absolutely. Persephone, I can't recall if she goes by a different name, but I believe, she's like this goddess that was the goddess of spring, or is the goddess
Yeah,
of spring.
she's
And
yeah,
then, yeah, and then she enters like Hades' domain, becomes queen of the underworld.
yeah.
But like she walks in between both of these spaces. Like you are the light and you're also the dark. And
Mhm.
I love that about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love like embodying like those aspects of her. More recently, I felt like Hecate like really like constantly reach out to me, and it was so wild. I had like the most wild experience after my rabbit had died.
Hmm.
Like I buried her out in my backyard, and then that's when like a bunch of like these black crows started coming in. It was like it was insane. It was so intense. I was like, okay.
Oh wow.
I was having a moment. I'm in mourning, but I'm also like hyper aware of like everything that's going on at the same time, because this is like, oh, this is so weird to me. It's like it's cool, but it's very weird because this hasn't been anything. I've never experienced something like that before.
Yeah. And crows have their own death ceremonies, which is
Yeah.
cool. So they're like, "Ooh, let's come to
Oh,
yours."
death. Like, okay, all right. Yeah. And then around the I guess the exact same time the crows were like flying in. Like I heard dogs barking too. So there
Oh my
was like
goodness.
that in the background. I'm like, okay, Hecate's here.
Yeah.
She's here. She's here. If I can recall, she's goddess of the crossroads, of the keys, of dogs, of crows, of
Snake,
spirits.
death, spirits.
Yeah. So that was major. Lilith, and I know that there's a lot of like controversy between like worshiping her as like a goddess or like as a demon, or
Hmm.
I think she's supposed to be like in like a different space. But I like the mythology of Lilith being like the first wife of Adam, being like the first feminist figure, being
Yeah,
the first person to be like, you know what, fuck you, I don't need you,
and she
and
didn't.
then just leaves the Garden of Eden, just like no. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
So like I love like embodying like aspects of her too, because like
Yeah,
yeah,
of
you know what,
course.
she's right. Guan Yin, I believe Guan Yin was originally male in like the earlier scriptures of Buddhism, where she is a follower of Buddha. And then in later, I guess like historical Chinese history, she was later rebranded to a full woman.
Okay.
Yeah, but she is the goddess of compassion.
Yes. So you hold space for them when you do your readings?
I think I kind of yeah, I do. I guess in a way I do hold space. A lot of it has to do with tapping into my own intuition as well and learning how to like trust my own gut.
Of course.
Yeah. Because then at the same time, like they're all kind of like teaching these same things, right? So you learn how to
Mhm.
trust yourself, learn how to trust like the messages coming through and what your gut is saying.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And using the different tones of voices that you have available to you to say what you need to say.
exactly. And that's been quite interesting. I've started like hearing like messages from like my left ear.
Hmm.
I don't know if you like get this experience where like you'll kind of like hear like words or phrases, but you're not hearing like physical things, but you hear it like kind of like deep within the ear, and it's like, huh?
Hmm. For me anyway, it's like when you're at a store and someone speaks to the whole store, there's like a
Yeah,
public announcement.
yeah,
It goes through my head like a literal voice of God, just like whoop, and it's a statement usually, just like whoop, very
yeah. A statement or
direct.
like a repeated word.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah. If we had to like describe it in, I guess, more scientific terms, because I guess science like explains like the magical parts.
What elders have been talking about for thousands
Yeah,
of years. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's almost like the image is being constructed in the center of my pineal gland. If my pineal gland
Mm.
were a spherical screen, and it's as though a sonar is coming out and giving me the information of what it would look like in this mundane world.
Mm.
It's as scientific as I can get.
Okay.
What was your rabbit's name?
Her name's Daisy. Daisy
Daisy.
Sky. I actually have an art exhibit coming up sometime in June,
Yeah.
and the exhibit's called Pushing Daisies.
I'd like to go back a couple beats and talk a little bit more about the time when you were suicidal. Since you mentioned considering your legacy, did you find legacy work then healing?
Oh my God, I found it so healing, like incredibly healing. I didn't realize I was doing the work until like I knew what a death doula was, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
How did it come up? Like, how did you get the idea to start? Was it a question just popped up, or did someone teach you?
It was kind of like a really long journey to get to that point.
Mhm.
Because when you're stuck in like suicidal like ideation, it's kind of like very hard to get out of because then you're constantly like feeding like this loop of information that's like, oh, you're not good enough, like you're probably better off dead, or like, and all of that. And then it's like, well, what's the point of even living, right? Like I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough for anything. And then I had reached like the final point of like, I want to say like no return. But at that point, it was like, let me just get my will in order because I have three Virgo placements in my chart, and I like I am very stubborn when it comes to like no everything from like my death and execution. Everything must be perfect, right? Let me just like make it so that it's a very clean cut. I want people to know what to do with my body. I want them to know like what I like, what I want for my funeral services, like what exactly that I wanted, how who was going to get what, basically,
Yeah.
at the end once I kicked the bucket. And then I gave this note to my ex husband. And then afterwards, he was like, no, no, you're not. I'm like, okay, all right. I don't know what you want me to do then. And then he basically sat down with me and he asked me, like, is there things that you want to do like before you kick the bucket? I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. This is kind of like, can fulfill my dreams of being a mermaid or like, or like, fulfill my dream of like going to Disney or like just, get myself out of like this kind of hellhole situation that I'm in.
Hmm.
Kind of impossible. So then I would write down like the most ridiculous things. Eventually at some point, like I got out of the situation that I was in. And then, like through a lot of like self-reflection, because I was in that space where I was like safe enough to kind of process everything that was happening to me at the time.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to die. But then it was also like, well, I don't know yet. I don't know. There was still kind of like that uncertainty.
Hmm.
But then it was like, okay, well, I have this list. Why don't I go and fulfill whatever I wanted to do before I go and kick the bucket then? Long story short, yes, I ended up becoming a mermaid for a little bit. I ended
Yes.
up going to like all the places that I wanted to go to, like fulfilling like every single kind of like ridiculous like hopes and dreams that I had. And I was like, oh, huh, what else can I do? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of like allowed me to kind of get out of that. So then from there, I didn't realize that I was doing legacy work because it's
Right.
like, okay, well, what do I want? What memories do I want to have? What do I want to leave behind? Like, I don't know, like what kind of impact do I want to like make on other people? Because I think
Mhm.
like from doing all of those things and like just bringing joy to like everyone's faces, right? Like it meant a lot. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe this life isn't so bad.
Meaning making, legacy work. This is
Exactly.
something that people should do.
Exactly. And now I'm like doing like a bunch of like other different things.
I love that. I love that for you. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm
Um,
glad that I am here too.
I would like to know who you've been thinking about or um, who you'd like to remember today.
It would be my pet rabbit Daisy and my grandparents on both sides of my family.
Tell me all about them.
So, my pet rabbit, I've had her since she was 3 years old. I adopted her from the OSPCA close to where I used to live, Stouffville, and she had been at the shelter for about three months. So, but I go in, I bring her home, and she just, she just took to me like very immediately.
Hmm.
She brought me like just so much joy, and she would just, I felt like she was a bit of an extension of me.
Okay.
She was just like so overly protective, like so loving. Um, she's got a bit of it like anxiety. So every time like I leave the room, she's always like following me like close behind, like, where are you going? Please don't leave me. Yeah. She passed away at 12 years old. So she was, I want to say pushing geriatric
Okay.
because like the lifespan of a rabbit is between 8 to 10 years. I think 6 to 10, depending on like the breed of rabbit. But she lived like quite a long time.
Okay.
My grandparents, I don't know them all that well, and I think I'm still grieving that because I never really knew them. I just know my parents. And
Okay.
so like while like both of my parents are still alive, like I always ask them like, "Oh, what was your relationship with your parents like? Like what was their jobs? Like what was the situation? Like what was like the greatest lesson like your parents taught you?"
Right.
Yeah. But I never really got to know them because they're on the other side of the world. And so it's literally just like my immediate family members here. So, living with like colonization and like culturally assimilating into like Western culture, but then feeling like so like uprooted and like so far away from your own family. It's like it's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were their names?
I don't know their names actually.
Okay.
My grandmother on my mom's side is still alive, but I believe she has, I think it was dementia or Alzheimer's, but she doesn't remember anything except my mom. And so
Okay.
that's been kind of like hard to witness. And then my grandpa on my mom's side, he passed away when my mom came over from Vietnam. And she was immigrating here, and then my older sister had a really crazy dream that he visited her in her sleep and basically said, "Hey, I've passed away. I've died." And this was like on the plane ride over.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. So I never really like got to know him.
yeah.
My grandpa on my dad's side, I was told that I was the favorite, the family favorite,
Okay,
because it was like
awesome.
the first daughter born overseas, the first like granddaughter in general. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is like the most beautiful granddaughter I've ever had. Right. So he would always like put like my, I guess like our family photos like in the little glass cabinet. So like every time like he would walk by, like he would like take a look and be like, that's my grandchild.
Oh.
My only interaction with him was the first time I went to visit family back in 1996. My only memory of him was that he was like a very scary man.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But like I guess like culturally speaking, when you're dealing with like your grandparents or like the male figure in the family, they're very kind of like stoic. They're very like, emotionless.
Hmm.
It's kind of like scary tall figure that you don't want to like upset.
Yes.
The stories that you hear from him, it's kind of like very sweet, right? It's like, oh, grandpa has emotions.
The
Yeah,
facade falls.
exactly. But they don't really like show it, right? Because any show of emotion is considered a weakness.
Oof.
And then my grandmother on my dad's side, she was like a very sweet woman. Like she would always like show up for me and my younger sister and my mom.
Mhm.
Um, but it's been kind of like hard to deal with because my mom doesn't really have like the greatest relationship with any of his family members.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's because she's like a big narcissist. Yeah.
Yeah, you ever pull cards on that?
No, but that is a
Mm.
good suggestion. I should probably do that.
I
Mm.
would love to know what got you into designing your own tarot decks.
It was a bit of a happy accident. I wouldn't say happy accident. But it was literally right after I had a very tragic lesbian breakup back
Mhm.
in 2023. And I was like, I gotta do something with my time. Let me just pull my tarot cards. So I'm pulling these tarot cards and I'm looking at the cards and I'm like, what the fuck do these mean? It's been so long since I've last touched my tarot cards that I don't know what they mean anymore. I'm like, okay. And then I was just kind of like looking at them like, oh, it's just too bad like they don't have any like words or like indicators of like what like I should be doing. And that was kind of like the major trigger point. I was like, oh, wait, I'm a designer. I could just make it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I had like two iterations. I had one with like images, but I didn't really like how that worked. And then I had like my current iteration, which is literally like just flat text.
Hmm.
And like the deck is color coded based on the suits, based on if it's part of the major arcana, if it's part of the minor arcana.
Yeah.
Um, the first deck that I came out with is it was the introspection deck, and that basically asks you a lot of um, thought-provoking questions,
Hmm.
sort of like within like the realm of mental health, or if you wanted to like connect with a friend of yours like on a deeper level, then you can like ask each other like these questions. The second one, the second version of the deck is called the unhinged deck.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, the unhinged one, it's almost like Cards Against Humanity, but with tarot. So it's very spicy.
I can hear it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that one is like my most popular tarot deck. It is currently sold out.
Amazing.
Yeah. The third and final one, I call that one the affirmations tarot deck. And it's
Hmm.
like the most colorful, the most cutesy one. I
Hmm.
view that one as like maybe like the third child,
Ah.
as opposed to like, the first child being the introspection. The
Right.
second one, middle one is like the unhinged middle child.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, happy accident. Yeah, but that one, again, also color coded, also based on like the suits, um, all based on like the Rider Waite tarot deck meanings.
Yeah, I might have to get that unhinged one. Put me on that waiting list.
I absolutely will.
When I heard the name, not only is it just like a great word, uh, but the image that I get upon hearing unhinged is someone who is radically honest.
Yeah.
And there's no better spirit for divination than someone who's like, listen,
Listen here.
let me tell you something. It sounds like you've had so many different lives so far in this existence. Uh, do you have any last words for any person, place, or time, including past selves that you haven't said out loud?
I have a lot to say to the people that I've never liked or have just unfriended. I don't know if we want to end off on a very
Give
like
it to
negative
me.
note. Fuck you. Like fuck you. Disrespectfully.
You know, more and more people are really getting into it. Deuces.
Exactly.
Where can people find you, your artwork, your decks, your exhibits, your
Yes.
death doula future work? Where can they contact you?
Easiest way to contact me and find me is through my Instagram. So it's at andrealou.designs, two U's. And then I have my website, andrealoudesigns.com.
I want to thank you for sharing so much, and I'm so excited for you.
Thank you so much.
And there it is. To get a hold of Andrea, I have posted all of the links in the show notes. And if you want any assistance with death doula related services, readings, energy work, or just have questions, find me on my website, deathdoulapastel.com. You can send an email to info@pastelsupernova.com for story suggestions, your own personal experiences, and any other questions you might have. Find me on Instagram at deathdoulapastel, and please share, like, do all the things to get this pod noticed by your friends, peers, anyone who might be interested. Your sharing matters a lot to me, and I thank you in advance. Until next time, blessings and respect.